Yeah, hello friends, this is Explain 12. Came out today and I bought and installed it, and of course I did some flights before, 2 or 3, just to get my joysticks and my thrust lever configured and the keys that I need, and I'm going to talk about that later. Well, we have the settings which almost look the same. I'm just showing you everything. Graphics. So you can enable 3D vegetation, obviously, and I have taken 4 times MSAA for the anti-aliasing data output. That's just the usual one. Joystick keyboard configuration and VR hardware should be just the same, but I'm not using VR at this time. Done, and I want to do a simple flight with the default Cessna starting in Strasbourg. And so I customized that, and let's take that departure position and make sure that it doesn't start with the engine running. And this is all very familiar, I think. And download real weather, not updated, rescan. Let me down the real weather in Strasbourg. That works, it seems. Not completely. Maybe it should be 100% done. Don't know. Well, I don't like that. Maybe it's processing the weather now. No idea. Well, let's stop just now. Let's use that. And also the real time. Now we have dates. So maybe the sunset times will be correct now. And then simply start that flight. There we are in Strasbourg. I don't think this is the real weather in Strasbourg now. Well, there are some clouds on the horizon. Let me show you the scenery a bit. Well, you have now these volumetric clouds, how they call them. It's just like looking like the ones in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We still have a ridiculous placement of the default scenery and the well, houses along the roads. We have 3D trees now. Let me see how they look like by getting closer. And the scenery otherwise, so those are the trees now, much better than the cardboard trees before. And actually they are moving in the wind, as you see. Yeah, that's okay. The ground is just the default texture, and I don't know if also scenery in the current version would work. Don't want to try that. The airport is the default airport that I did many years ago. Strasbourg default airport, and I bet there will be nothing to talk about in Strasbourg city. Well, we need to install X-Europe, but X-Europe does not work currently. I tried it, and it does not load properly. Only half of the scenery works. So this is now the texture inside. This is the default Cessna, as you see, and I have 4 times anti-aliasing on. If you don't have that, you get steps everywhere and a lot of flicker. The shadow fix that I usually have in Explain is not applied here. So the cockpit shadows are sharp here, as you see, but not on the outside. Well, don't do too much with the new simulation. Otherwise, the simulation should be just the same. Well, the same as before. And I also already configured my equipment. The rudder works and also the toe brakes do work. And I've set the parking brake key as usual. And of course also my joystick. Ground traffic makes nice sounds now. Almost making an accident, it seems. Good. Let's start the plane. Without further ado, parking brake is set. Yeah, okay, don't show this again. We have to put that to 3, 4. Five, like so. That's okay. Okay, the altitude. No idea how the QNH actually is. The frequency. Let me switch on the avionics. Taxi light. Let's switch on the taxi light right now and the pitot heat. And let's check here. So we are flying 7,000. That's okay. On we are flying visual. And it's 126930. That's from the last flight I did. See how that works now. And I don't check 80s. I don't do that. So please don't expect that. I'm not sure if I have to switch on anything here. Okay.
Strasbourg and High Information Foxtrot 1445 Zulu arriving runway 23, departing runway 23, weather, wind 190 degrees at 10 knots, variable 1602210, visibility more than 10 miles, sky clear, temperature 28, dew point 16, QNH 1016, advise on initial contact you have Information Foxtrot.
That's correct, the altitude is correct. We have Information Foxtrot, but we don't use ATC. Well, so far things work. Let me see how the aircraft handles, but well, this is the default aircraft. I don't expect any surprises here. Well, what did they actually change? So now the weather, obviously. So we have this volumetric clouds everywhere. The textures, they didn't change the scenery, neither the something like auto scenery, nor the texture of the placement of the buildings. The autogen, they changed probably the autogen a little bit so the houses are more realistic, but I'm not sure about this, even that. I don't know. And then we have these trees, vegetation has got better. The frame rates, by the way, are nice, but this is a default plane and not a demanding scenery, mind you. They changed the ATC a bit, but that does not look much different. Ah, we get the... okay. And I have set all my keys already as expected, so I can fly this. Fly with Lure works, and ABTAP should work too. I have it installed, but the default key to run ABTAP, let me see. So you have to open the ABTAP window somehow. I'm going to check that, so let me stop here. For a moment and just check. Yeah, that would be nice to do the settings with you. Sim dynamic, that's ABTAP as far as that is not ABTAP. What is ABTAP? Fly with Lure. ABTAP, here it is. So About app, home button, toggle tablet. Now let me put that to Control A. Done. Check. Works. Yep. And I also probably could link that to my Navigraph account, which I don't do now. Yep. Everything looks nice so far. I don't remember if how the default Cessna works in the simulation. What I remember is that the texture, the ground texture, looked differently. This is much nicer. So they worked on that a little bit, but that was an easy replacement freeware for Explain 11 already. The trees, however, could not be done. It seems in Explain 11 nobody did that. We had these cardboard trees, you remember? And now we have 3D trees moving in the wind. And it looks like, well, this feels quite natural. So let me set flaps 2. I have already entered the key for that. You can set curves for the rudder and for everything else as before. Not much has changed in this respect. I have a clearance to enter the runway and take off. And I don't do a magneto check now. It's not the purpose of this video to demonstrate the plane. They have entered some dirt, it seems. You see that? So flaps 2. And the trim is at the correct position. I'll check that. Check again, so let's stop here. Fly with lure works, I know that because at least my script, because I have only one wheel for the toe brakes at this time, not having connect my rudder pedals. So I have only the left toe brake set to the wheel and the Fly with Lure script which transports the left to the right toe script, so I can use the toe brakes, so I can use both. So trim is okay. And let's take off. Fly short pattern. It's natural, right rudder. And I have a curve for the rudder, because rudder is quite sensitive. Keep center line a little bit more. Okay. We are now veering to the wind, it seems. Now flaps up. And that's the scenery you get before it's seen. Now we're just flying a short pattern. Runway heading is 25, like that. Can we somehow move that with the heading bug? Like so. Onto our downwind lane, our downwind. So here you see the replacement of the houses along the roads. That's not nice. Okay. This is how rivers are simulated. Well, also scenery is something we would need for this simulation, I guess. So we are now covering one way, flying downwind, accelerating, keeping that altitude of 1000. We are 500 feet above ground level. That's what I mean. There's a train, and there's lots of traffic on the road. If you look carefully, there's a highway going around this airport on the other side. Now this is bad. Okay. Oops. One. Okay, let's try to do a proper landing. Trim to 20 feet, move a bit. I would like to check turbulence and things like that, but this video should be quite short. You will be flooded with videos on the simulation for sure the next days. Flaps through, get some ballooning effect. Not too early. See all this traffic on the road. But it's not much more intelligent than it was in Explain 11. Maybe they didn't change the code. So I turned too early, as you see. I have now this ridiculous approach. However, we like to come down in one piece. Wind. There is some crosswind, a little bit crosswind. Well, this is a slow flight already. I'm feeling sluggish, as it should. Yeah, too slow. Good. Well, are you disappointed? Well, the weather effects are much better. Otherwise, they didn't change much. Really, we have the same default airports. I think we get a bit more choice on the gateway for towers, and we have these 3D trees, lots of them, and still the frame rates are good. This is absolutely smooth, and I don't check the frame rates. About my specs, you probably want to know. This is a 4 GHz Core i7, not a modern one, but not a recent one, but quite good, with 32 GB of RAM. I don't know if that matters. And we have this 1080 GeForce with 8 GB of VRAM. And that works reasonably. The minimal equipment that you need for this flight simulation is much less. Have a look at their homepage, and you can always install the demo, of course. Okay, bye bye for now, and have fun.